There's a look at one of the most iconic sports venues in the lower 48. Built back in 1957 under the title of City Stadium. We are at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here's Rashad Penny, first carry for the former San Diego State Aztec. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
On second down and 4. Jackson, he's going to fire one deep left sideline. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. From the gun, Jackson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Zadarius Smith drops him for a loss of 14 yards, and it also brings up 4th down. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Now this is going to work out well as it's out of bounds near the 13-yard line.
Let's go.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. And that's complete to Adams. He's got a first down and more past the 30. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Hey, come on. Squeeze, double.
Looking to throw on second down. Tucker. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
Throwing on third and long. Tucker. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Von Miller make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Zadarius Smith able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
On second down, here's Penny. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the 3rd down stop.
Check, Mike 42.
From the gun, it's Jackson. It's caught. Jones. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
42, minus 42. I got you. Switch it. Come here, switch it. Shit. Go. Mike 42. Oh, try it. Watch the curl.
Jackson. Well, the pressure gets to him again. Zadarius Smith able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Jackson from the shotgun. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Kenny Clark. The offensive line is in tatters as that's now 3 sacks in 3 plays. Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes one extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing it.
Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference. Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. One first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
He's down to about the 40. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 2nd and 4 coming up. Rashad Penny. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. That's one where you probably give the ball carrier a bit of a mulligan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where was he going to go there?
Yeah, you could almost see his brain turning over from our perspective. Just put your foot in the ground and go, except there was no place to put his foot in the ground, and there was no place to go. No room to roam.
Come on, QB, come on. Check 52.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7.
Check 31, check 37.
They'll try and throw for it to Jackson. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. Defensively, a bit of a collapse, allowing the 4th down play to result in 23 yards.
Every play is supposed to get a player's best effort. But on 4th down, that really increases the stakes, doesn't it? What about that catch?
Heck of an effort, picking up the first.
And now that team has to be motivated going forward. They just saw a great effort there. They want to make sure it pays off.
Now Jackson. Open man is Ross, complete. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Quick throw now complete to Ross. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. To throw again is Jackson. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Julio Jones. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. They'll be in search of their initial points in the contest, trailing 9-0 as they begin with the first down. A pretty big opening there on first down. 8 yards up to the 33. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 33-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Tighten up, tighten up. Pull it together.
2nd and 2. Got an open man. It's Valdez Scantling. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
2nd and 9 now. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. They brought the house that time on the young rookie, maybe a little rattled through the pick.
And you have to be prepared for a lot of pressure as a rookie quarterback, because most defensive coordinators are going to test you that way. So when you see that, the ball's got to get out of your hands quickly, and that means your receivers have to understand they have to break off their routes quickly as well.
Whip, 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 whip. Watch the whip. Okay? Yeah. Mike, ready, go. 4-2. Here we go, here we go. 42. You.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Packers pick it up. And these guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. Often on fumbles, Charles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
A first down run, not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates are going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. Penny, a first down carry. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Your trick is huge.
10 yards on the pickup. It's
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A gain there of 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
He's crossing. He's checking crap. He's checking.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
All day, every day, any day. Watch twist. Watch twist.
And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. Calling about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Now Jackson from the gun, he'll throw. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Got a man open, it's Ross. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. 2nd and goal, and Penny standing by himself in the backfield. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces.
That's what I'm talking
That's a loss of 8 yards there to bring up third. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Here's Jackson operating from the gun. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the
pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Von Miller in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Back to throw. Tucker. It's caught here by Adams. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Here's a 2nd and 7. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Gonna give this time to the tailback. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And down to the 16-yard line. And he's going to get this all the way down to the Vikings' 16-yard line. And a guy that can change the game, shows you a glimpse of it right there, taking the ball down inside the red zone.
It just tells you how tough it is for a defense. You just hold on all game and essentially hold your breath. Will they break a big one on us at any point during the game? It just happened right there.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams. His third touchdown now on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. And this is no good. It's a missed extra point. Boy, in a tight game, how important might that turn out to be here as the second half rolls along? So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Penny. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now it's Penny running right. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down.
Check three. 11. 42. X3. 218. Chop.
A first throw for the backup, Ryan. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Off the play fake. Tucker. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off around the 41. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's the guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
2nd down and goal. Jackson completes it to the fullback Ham. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. Again, Jackson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. Give him 2 yards on that play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Josh Jackson. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And his throw here's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Strong right, strong right, strong right. Hey, get it all. West. Got 4 down. Check. Lucky. Go. 7. Go. Mike.
To throw again. Tucker. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football like the rest.
And he's going to go down again. Daniil Hunter In there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Hey. 4 down.
On 4th down, Tucker. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Daniil Hunter, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Jackson. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now it's Jackson. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Now, Charles, all things considered, I guess that's not a critical miss at this stage, is it?
No, but still everything helps when you're trying to finish off a ball game. And you're right, not critical in terms of the scoreboard and the team, but the guy with the golden foot, he knows he's only as good as his last kick.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. And they give this time to the tailback. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. The ball still a few inches shy of the marker after the 3-yard run, so now a little soul-searching on 4th down.
You better be afraid of me.
They'll run it with Jones. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward, and indeed he did not. They stop him. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Big stop on the turnover on downs to get the football back, and now it's just all about salting this one away.
Yeah, just slowly bleed the clock away. Clock's definitely on your side. And, you know, when we talk about analytics in the game, what is this one? The advanced win metrics? Because if you take care of the football here, bleed the clock down, with about 95% chance of winning.
Yeah, I'd say 95 or better. And I know you always say it, every coach does. It's just protecting the football at this point.
And knowing that the defensive guys, they're coming after the ball more than they are the person. They want to knock it free.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Let's go, D.
He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. John Ross with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. The Vikings leave the offense on the field as they're going to line up and go for 2.
Mike's 4-2. Mike's 4-2. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Let's go, Mike.
Jackson. And he's got it. So the two-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth quarter lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And last time out, went for it on fourth down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on fourth down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 35-yard line.
Jeff, 70 ending. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Now a handoff here to his running back. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8. The Packers on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Looking to throw. Tucker. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Let's get the ball.
On 4th down, Tucker. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position.
Mike 42. Check. Mike 42. I'm here all day. Check.
They'll run with Penny. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And down to the 7-yard line. It's a gain of 34.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And they will take a knee here.
It's a loss of 1. Brings up 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Watch the twist, watch the twist.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were really helped by their defense forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw